In the heart of the bustling interstellar marketplace of Parathon, where exotic goods from across the galaxy are traded, a somber scene unfolds. Brightly colored stalls and holographic advertisements cast a garish light on the proceedings. Zarla, a teenage girl from the planet Quarix, stands trembling on a raised platform. Her vibrant iridescent skin and large, expressive eyes make her a rare and valuable prize among the auction crowd. Zarla's father, a desperate and disheveled Quarixian, paces nervously beside her. His eyes dart around, avoiding Zarla's pleading gaze. His betrayal stings more than any physical pain she could endure. He speaks in hushed tones to a menacing buyer, a hulking creature with scales and piercing yellow eyes. The deal is sealed with a handshake, and the buyer hands over a hefty bag of credits. Among the onlookers, a human named Marcus observes the scene with a mix of disgust and pity. Marcus, a seasoned space trader and former soldier, has seen many injustices in his travels, but this strikes a particularly bitter chord. He watches as Zarla is led away in chains, her eyes filled with terror and sorrow. Determined to intervene, Marcus begins to formulate a plan. Later that night, the marketplace quiets down, and shadows lengthen across the stalls. Marcus and his crew of the Starhawk move with practiced stealth toward the buyer's compound. The compound, heavily guarded and fortified, presents a formidable challenge. Marcus, a master tactician, orchestrates a precise and daring raid. In a flurry of movement, the crew disables the security systems and engages the guards. Blaster fire lights up the night as Marcus leads the charge, his combat skills honed from years of experience. Inside the compound, Zarla hears the commotion and feels a flicker of hope. Marcus and his team fight their way through, overcoming the guards with a combination of strategy and raw firepower. Finally, they reach Zarla's cell. The door slides open and Zarla looks up to see Marcus standing there, extending a hand. "We're here to get you out," he says, his voice steady and reassuring. Overwhelmed with relief and gratitude, Zarla takes his hand, and they make their escape amidst the chaos. The Starhawk lifts off, leaving the compound in ruins behind them. Aboard the Starhawk, the atmosphere is tense but filled with a sense of accomplishment. The crew tends to their injuries and celebrates their successful mission. Zarla, still shaken, is brought to the ship's common area, where Marcus introduces her to the rest of his diverse crew. Aaliyah, a sharp-witted pilot, Drac, a burly alien with a soft heart, and Leora, a skilled engineer. Marcus kneels beside Zarla, offering her a warm drink. "You're safe now," he assures her. "We won't let anything happen to you." Zarla's fear begins to subside, replaced by curiosity about these strange but kind individuals who risked so much to save her. As the ship moves through the vastness of space, Marcus learns more about Zarla's story. She recounts the tragic circumstances that led her father to sell her, a tale of debt, threats, and desperation. Her father had hoped to save the rest of his family by sacrificing her. The betrayal still stings, but Zarla understands his actions were born out of fear. The crew's next step is to figure out their new mission. Marcus and his team gather in the Starhawk's briefing room, where they project a holographic map of the galaxy. They discuss the implications of their actions and the possible retaliation from the Syndicate. Zarla listens intently, eager to contribute. "It's not just about me," she says. "There are others. My father wasn't the only one forced to sell his child. We have to stop them." Her words resonate deeply with Marcus and the crew. They decide to use the information they gathered during the raid to uncover the Syndicate's operations and put an end to their cruel trade. Marcus begins training Zarla in various skills, from basic self-defense to navigation and hacking. She proves to be a quick learner, her determination fueled by a desire to save others from her fate. The bond between Marcus and Zarla grows stronger, resembling that of a father and daughter. One night, as the Starhawk glides silently through space, Marcus and Zarla stand together on the observation deck, gazing at the stars. "Thank you," Zarla says softly, "for everything." Marcus places a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "You're part of the family now, Zarla, and families look out for each other." In that moment, Zarla feels a sense of belonging and hope for the first time in a long while. Together, They look toward the future, ready to face whatever challenges lie ahead. The Starhawk glides through space, a beacon of hope and determination. Zarla, now a part of the crew, adapts to her new life aboard the ship. She learns quickly, absorbing knowledge like a sponge. Marcus and the rest of the crew grow fond of her resilience and intelligence. They share stories of their pasts, forging deeper bonds that strengthen their resolve. One morning, Marcus calls a meeting in the common area. The crew gathers around a holographic display showing a map of the galaxy. "We've identified a potential lead," Marcus begins. "There's a planet called Varona where we've heard rumors of child slave auctions. It's a dangerous place, but it could give us the information we need to dismantle the Syndicate." Zarla's eyes light up with determination. "We have to go there. We have to help them." Aliyah, the pilot, nods in agreement. "It's risky, but we've faced worse. Let's do it." Drac, the burly alien, adds, "We'll need to be prepared for anything. Varona is known for its hostile environment and ruthless inhabitants." The crew spends the next few days preparing for the mission. They stock up on supplies, upgrade their weapons, and devise a detailed plan. Zarla trains harder than ever, determined to play her part in the upcoming mission. As the Starhawk approaches Varona, the planet's harsh landscape comes into view. Rugged mountains, sprawling deserts, and dense forests create a foreboding atmosphere. The crew lands the ship on the outskirts of a bustling city, using a cloaking device to remain undetected. They make their way through the crowded streets, blending in with the locals. Zarla sticks close to Marcus, her eyes scanning the surroundings for any signs of the auctions. They soon find a lead, a seedy tavern where information is traded for the right price. Inside the dimly lit tavern, Marcus approaches a shady-looking informant. "We're looking for information on the child slave auctions," he says quietly, sliding a bag of credits across the table. The informant glances around nervously before nodding. "There's an auction happening tonight in the underground market. It's heavily guarded, but you might be able to find a way in." Armed with this information, the crew devises a plan to infiltrate the auction. Zarla feels a mix of fear and excitement. This is her chance to make a difference, to save others from the fate she narrowly escaped. As night falls, the crew makes their way to the underground market. The entrance is hidden behind a maze of alleyways and guarded by heavily armed thugs. Marcus, using his tactical expertise, leads the crew through a series of maneuvers to avoid detection. Inside the market, the atmosphere is tense and oppressive. The air is thick with the smell of desperation and fear. Zarla feels a pang of sorrow as she sees rows of cages filled with frightened children from various alien species. The sight strengthens her resolve to put an end to this atrocity. The crew splits up, each member taking on a specific task. Marcus and Drac work on disabling the security systems, while Aliyah and Leora scout the area for potential escape routes. Zarla, using the hacking skills Marcus taught her, taps into the market's communication network to gather intelligence. As she delves deeper into the network, Zarla uncovers a horrifying revelation. The child slave trade is just one part of a larger, more sinister operation. The Syndicate is involved in illegal genetic experiments, using the enslaved children as test subjects. Her heart races as she realizes the true extent of their mission. She quickly relays this information to Marcus. "We have to stop them, Marcus. It's not just about the auctions. They're doing terrible things to these children." Marcus's expression hardens. "We'll put an end to it, Zarla. I promise." With their plan in motion, the crew moves swiftly. They disable the security systems, creating chaos and confusion among the guards. Aliyah and Leora secure an escape route, ensuring they can get the children to safety. Marcus and Drac engage the guards in combat, drawing their attention away from the cages. Zarla, fueled by a mix of fear and determination, works tirelessly to open the cages and free the children. She reassures them, guiding them towards the escape route. The children, though scared, follow her lead, their trust in her unwavering. As the crew fights their way through the market, they face increasing resistance. The guards, realizing the scope of the infiltration, rally to defend their operation. Blaster fire fills the air, and the ground shakes with the force of explosions. The crew's unity and strategic prowess are put to the test. In a tense confrontation, Marcus faces off against the market's ruthless overseer. The overseer, a formidable alien with cybernetic enhancements, sneers at Marcus. "You think you can stop us? You're just a human." Marcus's eyes blaze with determination. "I'm not just a human. I'm a protector, and I won't let you harm these children." The battle is fierce, but Marcus's combat skills and unwavering resolve give him the upper hand. He defeats the overseer, dealing a critical blow to the Syndicate's operations on Varona. With the market in chaos and the children freed, the crew makes their escape. They lead the children back to the Starhawk, where they find safety and comfort. As they lift off, leaving the destruction behind, Zara feels a sense of accomplishment and hope. They have struck a significant blow against the Syndicate, but their mission is far from over. The Starhawk hums through the vastness of space, carrying the weight of its crew's recent victory and the rescued children. Zara feels a newfound sense of purpose and strength as she watches the stars streak by from the observation deck. Yet, the victory is bittersweet. Each child's story a reminder of the horrors that remain unchecked across the galaxy. Marcus convenes a meeting in the common area to discuss their next move. The holographic display projects the Syndicate's base of operations, gathered from the information they had collected on Varona. It's a remote moon orbiting a gas giant, a perfect location for the Syndicate to operate without attracting unwanted attention. "We've done some real damage," Marcus begins, his tone serious. "But this is just the tip of the iceberg. Our next target is their main base. It's heavily fortified and defended, but if we can take it out, we'll cripple their entire operation." Drek grunts in agreement. "We'll need a solid plan. They'll be expecting retaliation." Leora, the ship's engineer, nods. "We'll also need to make sure the Starhawk is in top shape. Any mechanical failure out there could be disastrous." Aaliyah taps on the holographic display, zooming in on the base's defenses. "From what we've gathered, their security is tight, but there are vulnerabilities we can exploit. If we can create enough of a distraction, we might be able to slip through their defenses." Zara, eager to contribute, suggests, "What if we use the information we have to our advantage? Spread false rumors about an attack somewhere else to divert their attention?" Marcus smiles, proud of her strategic thinking. "That's a good idea. We'll plant false intel to draw their forces away. It'll give us a window to strike." The plan is set into motion. The crew works tirelessly to prepare the Starhawk for the upcoming battle. They upgrade their weapons, reinforce the ship's defenses, and refine their strategy. Each member of the crew knows the risks, but is united by a common goal: to end the Syndicate's reign of terror. As they approach the moon, tension fills the air. The Starhawk drops out of hyperspace, revealing the Syndicate's base in the distance, a sprawling complex with towering structures and numerous patrols. Aaliyah skillfully pilots the ship towards the moon's surface, keeping low to avoid detection. Once on the ground, the crew splits into teams. Marcus and Drek lead the assault team, while Aaliyah and Leora handle the diversionary tactics. Zara, using her hacking skills, stays aboard the Starhawk to disrupt the base's communications and security systems. The assault team advances through the rugged terrain, using the natural cover to avoid patrols. As they get closer to the base, they encounter heavy resistance. Blaster fire erupts and explosions light up the night. Marcus and Drek fight with unwavering determination, pushing forward despite the odds. Back on the Starhawk, Zara works frantically to disable the base's defenses. She hacks into their systems, creating confusion and chaos. Security protocols fail, and false alarms divert the enemy's forces. Her fingers fly over the console, her heart racing with the intensity of the mission. Marcus and Drek breach the outer perimeter, engaging in fierce combat with the Syndicate's elite guards. The fight is brutal, but their training and teamwork give them the edge. They push deeper into the complex, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. Meanwhile, Aaliyah and Leora execute their diversion perfectly. Explosions and blaster fire draw the Syndicate's forces away from the main assault, allowing Marcus and Drek to advance. The base's defenses crumble under the relentless assault, and the crew makes their way to the central command center. Inside, they confront the base commander, a ruthless alien with a cybernetic arm. The commander sneers at them, confident in his stronghold's defenses. But Marcus, with a determined glint in his eye, says, "This ends now." The battle is fierce and intense. The commander's guards are well trained, but the crew's resolve is unbreakable. They fight with everything they have, knowing that the lives of countless children depend on their success. In a final, desperate push, Marcus and Drac overpower the commander. The command center's defenses fall, and the base's systems begin to shut down. The crew plants explosives throughout the complex, setting a timer for their escape. They race back to the Starhawk, blaster fire and explosions echoing behind them. The ship lifts off just as the base erupts in a massive explosion, a fiery testament to their victory. As they soar into the sky, Zara looks out at the burning wreckage below. "We did it," she whispers, tears of relief and pride in her eyes. Marcus places a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "Yes, we did, but there's still work to be done. We won't stop until every child is free." The Starhawk drifts through the expanse of space, its crew recovering from the intense battle. The destruction of the Syndicate's base is a significant victory, but they know their fight is far from over. The children they rescued rest in makeshift quarters, their nightmares soothed by the gentle hum of the ship and the comforting presence of the crew. Marcus calls another meeting in the common area. "We've struck a major blow, but the Syndicate isn't done with us yet. We need to be prepared for retaliation and find more allies to strengthen our cause." Aaliyah, leaning against the wall with her arms crossed, adds, "Word of our actions is spreading. We've been contacted by a rebel faction from Quarix. They want to meet and discuss joining forces." Zarla's eyes widen with hope. "The rebels? They've been fighting the Syndicate for years. If we can unite with them, we could be even more effective." Marcus nods. "It's worth the risk. We'll set a course for Quarix and arrange a meeting. In the meantime, we need to stay vigilant. The Syndicate will be looking for us." As the Starhawk travels to Quarix, the crew prepares for the meeting with the rebels. They run drills, repair and upgrade the ship, and gather intelligence on the current situation on the planet. Zarla, driven by her desire to make a difference, takes on a more active role in planning and strategy. Upon reaching Quarix, the crew is greeted by a planet in turmoil. The Syndicate's influence is evident in the devastated cities and the fear-stricken populace. The rebels, a group of determined and resourceful fighters, meet them in a hidden base deep within the planet's dense forests. The rebel leader, a charismatic Quarixian named Thalon, welcomes them with cautious optimism. "Your actions have inspired many, but we must be careful. The Syndicate is ruthless, and they won't hesitate to retaliate." Marcus extends his hand. "We're here to help. Together, we can take down the Syndicate and free everyone they've oppressed." Thalon nods, shaking Marcus's hand firmly. "We've been fighting a losing battle for too long. With your help, we might finally have a chance." The alliance between the Starhawk's crew and the rebels brings new hope and resources. They share intelligence, train together, and plan coordinated strikes against the Syndicate's operations on Quarix. The crew adapts quickly to the rebels' guerrilla tactics, blending their skills seamlessly. However, their actions do not go unnoticed. Krelax, the enigmatic and ruthless leader of the Syndicate, takes personal interest in crushing this new threat. He launches a series of counterattacks, aiming to break the alliance and instill fear. One night, the rebels' base is attacked. Explosions rock the forest, and blaster fire pierces the air. The crew and rebels scramble to defend their stronghold. Zarla, now a seasoned fighter, stands side by side with Marcus and the rebels, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and determination. Krelax's forces are relentless, pushing the defenders to their limits. The Starhawk's crew fights valiantly, their bond and training tested to the extreme. Amidst the chaos, Zarla finds herself face to face with a Syndicate lieutenant, a towering alien with cruel eyes. The lieutenant sneers. "You think you can stop us? You're just a child." Zarla's eyes blaze with defiance. "I'm not just a child. I'm a fighter, and I won't let you hurt anyone else." With newfound strength, she engages the lieutenant in combat. Their clash is fierce, but Zarla's training and determination give her the edge. She defeats the lieutenant, securing a small victory amidst the larger battle. As dawn breaks, the rebels and the Starhawk's crew manage to repel the attackers. The cost is high, with many wounded and some lost. The battle leaves scars, but it also strengthens their resolve. Thalon approaches Marcus, his expression grim but resolute. "We've won today, but this is far from over. Kralax won't stop until we're all destroyed." Marcus nods, determination in his eyes. "Then we'll keep fighting. Together, we'll bring him down." The alliance solidifies, their shared losses and victories forging an unbreakable bond. As the Starhawk and the rebels prepare for their next move, Zarla looks to the future with a mix of hope and resolve. The battle is far from over, but with each step, they get closer to their ultimate goal, a galaxy free from the tyranny of the Syndicate. News of the alliance between the Starhawk's crew and the Quarixian rebels spreads throughout the galaxy, inspiring hope among the oppressed and fear among their enemies. However, Kralax, the Syndicate's leader, is determined to crush this uprising. He gathers his forces and sets his sights on Helio Station, a neutral trading hub that has provided refuge and resources to the rebels and their allies. Helio Station is a bustling hub of activity, with ships coming and going, carrying goods and information across the galaxy. The station's governor, a pragmatic and shrewd human named Governor Reed, has granted sanctuary to the Starhawk and the rebels. Marcus, Zarla, and the rest of the crew work tirelessly to fortify the station's defenses, knowing that an attack is imminent. As the Starhawk docks at Helio Station, Marcus calls a meeting with Governor Reed and the station's security chief, an experienced soldier named Captain Voss. "We don't have much time," Marcus begins, his voice steady but urgent. "Kralax's forces are on their way. We need to prepare for a full-scale assault." Governor Reed nods, his expression grim. "We've fortified our defenses and evacuated as many civilians as we could, but we're still outnumbered and outgunned." Captain Voss, a seasoned warrior with a no-nonsense demeanor, adds, "We'll fight to the last man if we have to. Helio Station won't fall without a fight." The crew and the station's defenders work around the clock, reinforcing barricades, setting up turrets, and coordinating evacuation plans. Zarla, now an integral part of the team, uses her hacking skills to disrupt the Syndicate's communication channels, buying them precious time. As the enemy fleet approaches, the tension on the station reaches its peak. The defenders take their positions ready to face the onslaught. The first wave of Syndicate ships arrives, launching a barrage of laser fire and missiles. Helio Station's shields flicker under the assault, but they hold. The battle is intense and chaotic. Marcus leads the ground forces, coordinating the defense with precision and skill. Drac and Alia, armed with heavy weapons, hold the front lines, their determination unwavering. Leora, the engineer, moves swiftly through the station, repairing damaged systems and providing crucial support. Zarla, from her vantage point in the command center, monitors the battlefield. She spots a weak point in the enemy's formation and relays the information to Marcus. "Focus fire on the lead cruiser," she instructs, her voice steady despite the chaos. "It's their command ship." Marcus nods, relaying the order to the defenders. The concentrated fire from the station's turrets and the Starhawk's cannons targets the lead cruiser, causing it to explode in a fiery blaze. The Syndicate's forces reel from the loss, momentarily thrown into disarray. However, Kralax is not so easily deterred. He deploys his elite troops, boarding the station and engaging the defenders in brutal close-quarters combat. Marcus and his crew fight valiantly, but the Syndicate's forces are relentless. Amidst the chaos, Zarla receives a distress signal from a civilian sector of the station. "Marcus, they've breached the civilian quarters. There are families trapped there." Marcus's heart races. "Alia, Drac, with me. Zarla, keep the command center secure." They rush to the civilian sector, fighting their way through the Syndicate's troops. The sight of terrified families huddled in fear strengthens their resolve. Marcus, Alia, and Drac form a defensive line, protecting the civilians and pushing back the attackers. Just when it seems they might be overwhelmed, reinforcements arrive. Thalon and a contingent of Quarixian rebels, having intercepted the distress signal, join the fight. Together, they drive the Syndicate's troops back, securing the civilian sector and evacuating the families to safety. As the battle rages on, it becomes clear that Helio Station cannot withstand the assault indefinitely. Governor Reed makes a difficult decision. We need to evacuate. We'll use the remaining ships to get as many people out as possible. Marcus nods, knowing the governor is right. We'll hold them off as long as we can. The defenders fight a desperate rearguard action, buying time for the evacuation. Zara coordinates the efforts, her heart pounding with fear and determination. The Starhawk, along with several other ships, ferries civilians and wounded soldiers to safety. In the final moments of the siege, as the station's defenses begin to crumble, Marcus and his crew make their way to the Starhawk. They barely escape as Helio Station falls, the Syndicate's forces overrunning the last defenses. As the Starhawk jumps to hyperspace, Zara looks back at the burning station, her eyes filled with sorrow and resolve. "We'll come back," she vows. "We'll rebuild, and we'll keep fighting." Marcus places a hand on her shoulder. "We will, and we'll make sure Krelax pays for this." The escape from Helio Station leaves the crew of the Starhawk with a mix of relief and grief. The loss of the station is a heavy blow, but the successful evacuation of many civilians is a small victory. As they regroup and assess their situation, Marcus calls a meeting to discuss their next steps. "We need to find a new base of operations," Marcus begins, his tone somber. "We can't keep running forever. We need a place to regroup, resupply, and plan our next move." Thalon, the Quirixian rebel leader, suggests, "There's a remote asteroid field not far from here. It's dangerous, but it might be the last place Krelax would think to look for us." The crew agrees to the plan, and the Starhawk sets a course for the asteroid field. The journey is tense, with everyone on edge, knowing that Krelax's forces could be tracking them. As they navigate the treacherous terrain of the asteroid field, Marcus notices something amiss. Supplies and equipment begin to disappear, and critical systems suffer unexplained malfunctions. It becomes clear that there's a saboteur on board. The crew grows increasingly paranoid, suspicion and mistrust spreading like wildfire. One night, while Zara is working on a communications relay, she overhears a hushed conversation. She recognizes the voice of one of their trusted crew members, Sarek, speaking with someone through a hidden transmitter. Her heart sinks as she realizes the betrayal. Zara quickly alerts Marcus and the rest of the crew. "Sarek is the traitor. He's been sabotaging us and feeding information to Krelax." Marcus's expression hardens. "We need to confront him, now." They find Sarek in the engineering bay, trying to disable the ship's navigation system. Marcus, Drak, and Aaliyah move in to apprehend him. Sarek, realizing he's been caught, pulls a blaster, but Drak disarms him with a swift, powerful move. Sarek sneers, his eyes filled with hatred. "You think you can stop Krelax? He's unstoppable. You're all fools." Marcus steps forward, his voice cold and determined. "We may be outmatched, but we're not fools. We fight for something you'll never understand. Freedom." They secure Sarek in the brig, but the damage is done. The crew's trust is shattered, and the Starhawk is left vulnerable. As they repair the systems and recover from the betrayal, Marcus addresses the crew. "We've been through hell, and we've been betrayed by one of our own. But we can't let this break us. We need to stay strong, stay united. Krelax wants to divide us, to make us doubt each other. We can't let him win." Zara, feeling a mix of anger and betrayal, steps forward. "We'll rebuild, we'll get stronger, and we'll make sure Sarek's betrayal wasn't in vain." The crew rallies together, their resolve renewed. They finish repairs and fortify their position in the asteroid field. Marcus, reflecting on the events, knows they must be more vigilant than ever. As they prepare for their next move, Zara approaches Marcus. "We need to find out more about Krelax, his strengths, his weaknesses. If we're going to beat him, we need to understand him." Marcus nods. "You're right. We need to gather intelligence, find allies, and strike when he least expects it. We've been reacting to his moves. It's time we take the fight to him." With a renewed sense of purpose, the crew of the Starhawk sets out to gather the information they need. They will face many challenges ahead, but their bond is stronger than ever. United by their shared goals and strengthened by their trials, they prepare for the battles to come, ready to bring down the Syndicate and restore peace to the galaxy. The Starhawk cruises through the asteroid field, the crew's resolve hardened by their recent trials. Marcus stands at the helm, his eyes fixed on the holographic map that shows the Syndicate's main base, a heavily fortified asteroid complex deep within uncharted space. The mission ahead is their most dangerous yet, but also their most crucial. "We've gathered all the intelligence we can," Marcus says, addressing the crew. "Krelax's base is a fortress, but we have a plan. We'll need to be precise, swift, and unified. This is our chance to strike a decisive blow against the Syndicate." Aaliyah, the pilot, steers the ship towards the target coordinates. "We'll have to navigate through an asteroid field to get there. It's a natural defense, but it also gives us cover." Drac, checking his weapons, adds, "Once we're in, we'll split into 2 teams. One to disable their defenses, the other to take out their command center." Zara, now a seasoned member of the crew, stands ready with her hacking tools. "I'll handle the security systems. If we can shut down their automated defenses, it'll give us a fighting chance." As they approach the complex, the Starhawk cloaks itself, slipping through the asteroid field undetected. The crew braces for the mission ahead, knowing that failure is not an option. The Syndicate's base looms before them, a dark and ominous structure carved into the largest asteroid. Marcus gives the order, "Commence infiltration." The Starhawk docks covertly, and the crew splits into their assigned teams. Marcus, Drac, and Zara lead the assault team, while Aaliyah and Leora handle the sabotage. They move with precision and coordination, each step carefully planned. Inside the complex, they encounter heavy resistance. The Syndicate's guards are well-trained and well-armed, but the Starhawk's crew fights with unmatched determination. Blaster fire echoes through the corridors as they push forward. Zara taps into the base's security network, disabling cameras and unlocking doors. "We're in," she reports. "Head for the main control room." Marcus and Drac lead the charge, taking down guards with efficient precision. They reach the control room, where a group of Syndicate officers scrambles to respond to the intrusion. A fierce battle ensues, but the crew's training and unity give them the upper hand. Meanwhile, Aaliyah and Leora plant explosives at key points throughout the complex. They work quickly, knowing that time is of the essence. The plan is to cripple the base's infrastructure, making it impossible for the Syndicate to regroup. As the assault team secures the control room, Marcus accesses the main terminal. "We need to find Krelax," he says, his voice steady. "He's the key to ending this." Zara hacks into the system, searching for any information on Krelax's whereabouts. "I've got him," she says, pulling up a map. "He's in a fortified chamber deep within the complex." With the location in hand, they make their way through the labyrinthine corridors. They encounter more resistance, but the crew's resolve is unwavering. Each step brings them closer to their goal. Finally, they reach Krelax's chamber. The door slides open to reveal the Syndicate leader, a towering figure with cold, calculating eyes. He stands surrounded by his elite guards, a cruel smile playing on his lips. "So you've come to face me," Krelax says, his voice dripping with contempt. "Fools, you'll find nothing but death here." Marcus steps forward, his blaster raised. "We're here to end this. You won't terrorize the galaxy any longer." The final battle begins. Krelax's guards are formidable, but the Starhawk's crew fights with unmatched ferocity. Blaster fire and explosions fill the chamber as the two sides clash. Zara, using her hacking skills, disrupts Krelax's advanced defenses, giving Marcus and Drac an opening. They push forward, engaging Krelax in a fierce hand-to-hand combat. The Syndicate leader proves to be a powerful opponent, but Marcus's determination and Drac's strength turn the tide. With a final decisive strike, Marcus and Drac overpower Krelax. The Syndicate leader falls, his reign of terror brought to an end. The crew plants the last of the explosives and makes their way back to the Starhawk. As they escape the complex, the explosives detonate, tearing the base apart. The Starhawk races through the asteroid field, narrowly avoiding the debris. They emerge victorious, the Syndicate's stronghold reduced to rubble. The Starhawk's crew returns to their temporary base in the asteroid field, their victory against Krelax a significant triumph. The galaxy begins to hear the news of the Syndicate's fall, and hope spreads like wildfire. But Marcus knows their mission isn't over. There are still remnants of the Syndicate that must be dealt with. As the crew regroups, Marcus addresses them. We've struck a major blow, but there are still Syndicate operatives out there. We need to hunt them down and ensure they can't rebuild. Thalon, the Quirixian rebel leader, nods in agreement. We have intelligence on several key operatives. We'll coordinate our efforts to take them out. Zarla, feeling a mix of pride and determination, steps forward. We've come this far together. Let's finish this. The crew splits into smaller teams, each tasked with tracking down and eliminating the remaining Syndicate leaders. Marcus, Zarla, and Drak focus on a high-ranking lieutenant named Vesk, who has taken control of a mining colony and is attempting to regroup the Syndicate's forces. The Starhawk approaches the mining colony, its defenses weakened by the Syndicate's recent losses. They infiltrate the colony, moving through the dark industrial corridors. The air is thick with tension, and the crew's senses are on high alert. Inside the colony, they find Vesk overseeing the operation. The lieutenant, a cunning and ruthless alien, has surrounded himself with loyal guards. Marcus, Drak, and Zarla prepare for a final showdown. Marcus signals the attack, and the crew engages Vesk's forces. The battle is intense, with blaster fire and explosions rocking the colony. Marcus and Drak fight their way to Vesk, who stands defiantly at the center of the chaos. You think you can stop me? Vesk sneers, drawing a plasma blade. You'll die here. Marcus meets Vesk's challenge, their blades clashing in a fierce duel. Drak takes on Vesk's guards, his brute strength and combat skills proving unstoppable. Zarla uses her hacking abilities to disable Vesk's security measures, giving Marcus the edge he needs. The duel is brutal and intense, but Marcus's determination and skill prevail. He disarms Vesk and delivers a final, decisive blow, ending the lieutenant's reign of terror. With Vesk defeated, the crew secures the colony and frees the enslaved miners. The victory is another significant step towards dismantling the Syndicate's remnants. As they gather the freed miners and prepare to leave, Marcus reflects on their journey. We've come a long way, he says to Zarla, who stands beside him. We've faced countless challenges and made sacrifices, but we're making a difference. Zarla nods, her eyes filled with determination. And we'll keep fighting, until the galaxy is free from the Syndicate's tyranny. As the Starhawk lifts off from the mining colony, the crew knows their mission is far from over. But they are united, strong, and ready to face whatever challenges lie ahead. Together, they will continue to protect the innocent, fight for justice, and restore peace to the galaxy. The Starhawk glides through the tranquil expanse of space, the remnants of the Syndicate scattered and leaderless. Marcus, Zarla, and the crew have achieved what many thought impossible, but their journey is far from over. The galaxy, though free from Kralax's tyranny, is still in need of healing and rebuilding. Marcus calls a final meeting in the common area. The holographic map displays the locations of the remaining Syndicate outposts and the liberated colonies. We've dealt a crippling blow to the Syndicate, but there's still work to be done. We need to ensure these places are secure and help rebuild what's been destroyed. Thalon, now a trusted ally and friend, steps forward. The Quirixian rebels are ready to assist. We can provide resources and manpower to help stabilize these regions. Zarla, who has grown into a confident and capable leader, adds, we should also establish communication networks to keep these colonies connected and informed. It will help prevent any resurgence of the Syndicate. The crew agrees, and they set out on a new mission, not one of destruction, but of restoration and unity. Their first stop is the planet Quarix, where they are greeted with celebrations and gratitude. The Quirixian people, inspired by the crew's bravery and resilience, rally together to rebuild their shattered world. Zarla works tirelessly, using her hacking skills to set up communication networks and security systems. She trains the locals, empowering them to protect their communities and share information across the galaxy. The bonds she forms with the people of Quarix are deep and lasting, and she finds a sense of fulfillment in helping her homeworld rise from the ashes. Marcus, along with Thalon and Drak, coordinates the distribution of supplies and the rebuilding of infrastructure. They work side by side with the locals, their combined efforts creating a sense of unity and purpose. Aaliyah and Leora oversee the reconstruction of the spaceports, ensuring that trade and travel can resume safely. As the days turn into weeks, the transformation of Quarix is remarkable. The planet, once oppressed and devastated, begins to thrive. The Starhawk's crew moves from colony to colony, their efforts mirrored in each place they visit. The liberated worlds join together, forming a coalition dedicated to peace and mutual aid. One evening, as the crew gathers around a campfire on Quarix, Marcus reflects on their journey. "We've come a long way. We've faced impossible odds and made incredible sacrifices. But look at what we've achieved together." Zara, sitting beside him, smiles. "It's more than I ever hoped for. We've given people hope and we've shown them that they're not alone." Thalon raises a glass, a gesture echoed by the rest of the crew and the Quirixian rebels. "To the Starhawk and her crew, to freedom, unity, and a brighter future." The crew's bond, forged in the fires of battle and tempered by their shared mission, is unbreakable. They have become more than just comrades. They are a family. As they look towards the stars, the future seems full of possibilities. The galaxy, once plagued by the Syndicate's tyranny, now stands on the brink of a new era. The Starhawk's crew, their mission evolving from warriors to peacemakers, continue their journey. They explore new worlds, offer aid to those in need, and ensure that the hard-won peace is maintained. In the quiet moments, Marcus reflects on the path that brought them here. He sees Zara, once a frightened girl sold into slavery, now a beacon of hope and strength. He sees his crew, each member growing and finding their place in this new world they're helping to shape. As they embark on their next mission, the Starhawk soars through the cosmos, a symbol of resilience and unity. The crew knows that challenges will always arise, but they are ready to face them together. Their legacy is one of courage, compassion, and unwavering determination to protect the innocent and uphold justice. In the end, the Starhawk is more than just a ship. It is a vessel of hope, carrying the dreams of a galaxy towards a brighter, more just future. And as long as there are stars to guide them, the crew will continue their journey, forging a new dawn for all.